confident Toastmaster, but also the master for today's topic. Therefore, today's program is an exciting one, an interesting one. We have the first section on who can judge, followed by contest judging, operation, and the tips that you all can learn from. And also on the briefing, on speed scoring, and also on those tally sheets and protests. After the breaks, we also have a interactive judging exercise. That is how you will learn what is judging all about. And later, we will share on online contests. This is what we are having now. Okay, so finally, if you have doubts and you have burning questions to ask, no worry, we have a Q&A for you. So what you do is you type it on the Zoom chat, and we will get our trainer, the experienced trainer, to answer to you accordingly. Yes. So now, to kickstart, we shall invite Division G Director, Strategic Relationship, Margaret Rowe, for the opening address. Over to you, Margaret.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Cool afternoon to past and present district officers and my fellow Toastmasters. Welcome to Division G's Master Series, the very first of our series of trainings to empower our members to experience their full Toastmasters journey. A mentor once said to his mentee, "The Toastmasters journey is like having a buffet. You have a wide range of appetizer experiences, such as club and leadership experiences. But the main course for many is contesting. It's a 7-minute junkie ride that takes you to the moon and back. Today, Division G will equip you with the rocket fuel in contest judging. As a contestant, you know what it takes to clinch that champion score. As a contest judge, know what it takes to stay critical and objective. As a chief judge, know what it takes to assemble a credible panel. In real life, you, the speaker, has 7 minutes to make a compelling pitch. You, the listener, to cut through that message. And you, the Toastmaster, have paid that full buffet price at the door. Come and savor the appetizers, the main courses, and the desserts. Sit up and soak up the experience. Ladies and gentlemen, I declare the Master Series open. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Margaret. Yes, the appetizer, the buffet. And now we will kickstart today's meetings. And today's meetings, we have a very prominent trainer to teach you who can be judged. The trainer starts his judging journey in the year 2013 and 14. And every term, when the contest seasons come, you will find him in several clubs, area and division contests. And he's always called to be judged. And I also learned you also become a chief judge for the district contest. So you know, he's often booked in club and area division contests. Not by weeks, not by months. And now I learn, now by years. He's being booked now by next year. So he's a sought after man. So now you better chill him and better choke him before it's too late. But however, this trainer, despite his busy schedule, he still takes time to share with us his judging tips and experience. So whenever I bump into him, I always ask him, "Hey, what are you doing at the contest?" And you know his famous reply, "Kepolo." So let's welcome our distinguished Toastmaster, Gerald Young, to share who can judge. Over to you, Gerald.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Ivan. Past regional advisor, senior district officers, fellow Toastmasters, and friends. Well, I'm an LE, and when it comes to over-exaggeration, today, Ivan topped the cake. I was never a district chief judge. Division chief judge, yes. District chief judge, no. Right. Yes, today I'd like to just share with this being an afternoon after lunch. I believe I will just warm you up for the main course to be delivered by our past regional advisor, distinguished Toastmaster Po Kim Seong. So for me, it's a simple question: who can judge? Right. Let me share my screen. Okay. So you see my screen? Contest judge. All right. So who are those who have not judged before or starting to judge? Would you mind just put your answer in the group chat? Okay. All right. Wait a minute. Where I can't see the group chat. Okay, I see the group chat now. Yes. Okay, my session here is actually just to lay the ground rules for people who want to start their journey and people who have just newly joined. And also I see a lot of seasoned judges here today. Right. So why judge? Now, if you read the tutorial on the judging manual in Toastmasters International, for me is to practice your skill in Toastmasters. Why? Whereas a Toastmasters, we learned on communication skills, speech delivery, and evaluation. And this is a time for you to practice what you've learned, to identify your listening skills and see whether you can distinguish the message of a speaker and who is a better speaker and learn from them. That is one reason for me why I started my judging journey. The other one is to learn the institutional knowledge of Toastmasters. Yes, institutional knowledge about how clubs organize contests and how contests is being run and all that. And finally, widen your horizon. If not for judging, I would not have made so many Toastmasters friends, because when you judge in a physical meeting situation, you get to know more Toastmasters where people will be willing to help you. You ask them and you learn from them. And I've learned from quite a few well-known Toastmasters like Chia Chun Kit, a very well-known judge, Jenny Au for another, even Po Kim Seong. Ladies and gentlemen, so why you judge? These are some of the reasons. And also for you to widen your knowledge, your skills as well. So who can judge? Actually, anybody can judge, isn't it? But I'm talking about in the context of Toastmasters International. From Toastmasters International, not everybody can judge. They have certain criteria before you can don the judge's hat, right? Yeah. First and foremost, you must be Toastmaster of good standing, right? So even if you're seasoned Toastmasters, if you forgot to pay your subscription, you're on time, and when you are supposed to be performing your judging role, and even if you have paid your dues to your club and it's not been registered with TI, you are not a Toastmasters of good standing, right? So make sure that before we perform our duties as judge, we make sure our subscription is paid in time, if not early, and it has reached paid by the club to the Toastmasters International. For those from the legacy syllabus, well, we always say the CC manual. Yeah, you must complete P6, project 6 of the manual. And for those who started their pathway, you must at least achieve your certificate of competence in 2 levels in your pathways, right? So if you have this, then you can judge. If you do not have this, then you can't judge. But this is the standard for international speech contests, whereas they are not so strict with TI rules did not specify these requirements for humorous speech or any other evaluation and table topic speech for clubs and districts, right? Now, so who cannot judge? There are specific people who cannot judge, such as who cannot judge? If you are a contestant who have proceeded, who have won your club contest and you are going to contest at area level, please do not do any more judging at all except club contests. In club contests, anybody can judge. Okay, whether you're going to compete in area or you are going to compete in division level, you can still judge at club level. There's always, whenever I appoint a judge for area or division, I always ask them, are you competing in area and above level? If they say no, yeah, then you can judge. If you are, I say I can't appoint you as a judge in my team. All right, so this is to clear the air. And contest appointment holders, even judges, if you are judging in a contest, you cannot contest in that contest. Okay, so contest appointment holders, like even if you're tally counter, you're timer and all that, because there are people who are actually appointed timer, then they find that in their club, they do not, this is especially in club, they do not have enough contestant. Then they say, hey, you give up your timer role, come and contest. Technically, you can, but if you're still going to perform a timer role, you cannot contest. And finally, if you are a judge in a particular contest, especially area or division, and you find that one of the contestants is from your club, then you cannot judge in that contest, because the rule says you can't be a judge in a contest where your member of your club is contesting. So be careful, especially when your club has got multi-club members. That means members who are Toastmasters who are members of Club A and Club B, and you're from Club B. Then in a contest, this member who is in your club is contesting, you represent Club A. You also cannot judge. Okay, so let's be clear about this. So this is the ground rule for who can judge and who cannot judge. So what does it take to judge? What do you need to know to judge, right? And why so many people, I see there's very competent Toastmasters and they still don't do judging. For me, judging is very fulfilling, very fruitful, and it's one of the avenues in which I learn. It further my knowledge in Toastmasters, and it's very enriching, right? Well, what does it take? So first thing is we have to be fair and impartial. Fairness and impartiality is one of the basic tenor of you being a judge. Okay, everybody knows that, right? To be a judge, you just have to be fair and impartial. Okay, the other one is you must have contest knowledge. So what are the revenues, resources for contest knowledge? You must you must know the contest rules. Very important, know the contest rules. And usually contest rules, when you judge, any new judging, the chief judge will brief the judges on contest rules, but the chief judge cannot be telling you from A to Z in a contest rule. He'll be highlighting to you the main points in a contest. And also the contest procedure. My advice to anyone who wants to start judging is you have to just take up an appointment as a timer to learn the timing process. And very important is to take up appointment as a tally counter, because as a tally counter, you get to see how the ballots are being tallied by the chief judge and the tally counter, how the things work. Because after your judging journey, you will want to move on to be the chief judge. And this is very important, how the chief judge handles this tally counting, how the ballots are being tallied and all that. So this is the procedure that you need to learn. And you can, even before you start judging, if you attend contests to see how the contest is being conducted. Right. So in that manner, you know the procedures, and you may also in the process learn the contest rules. And especially contest rules, it changes every year when they start to define clearer for clarity and all that. Read the contest rule book, and then also the duties and responsibilities of a judge. And all these are in the contest rule book, and as well as the rules and duties and responsibility of the various appointment holders. So if you have gone through this and you know this, you are ready to judge. Okay. And of course, what it takes this time, really, what are the skills you needed is to read contest rules. The other one is to know your speaking skills, know your listening skills, because in order to be able to judge, you must be able to differentiate a speaker from the other. You must also be able to differentiate what is his message, what is he trying to tell you. You must be able to differentiate his delivery skills, whether this contestant A has used more techniques or better techniques than contestant B. And the other one is your listening skills. See, all these are part and parcel of communication, but it's at a higher level, because now you're in a contest, you have to exercise your judgment. It's like if you have doing evaluation, you have to listen to the speech and you have to give feedback. And this one is you have to rank the speakers. Okay, so listening skills, speaking skills, and for my experience, I actually pick up speaking skills and listening skills through judging as well. And it's really very, very useful. It opened up a whole new horizon for you in your Toastmasters journey, instead of just attending club activities and all that. Okay, and yes, if as far as you can, get a mentor, get somebody who can mentor you. You learn faster. Yeah, I have a lot of mentors. As I said, I have Chun Kiat, I have Jenny Au, Kim Seong, and a few others. People who, as you judge with them, you pick up judging points, you pick up speaking skills, and getting a mentor will help you to learn the skill faster. All right. And finally, in a contest, never discuss a contest result as a judge. After the contest, throw away your scripts, throw away your whatever ballots you have. And when you dispose of it carefully, so that it at least destroy it, tear it up, and then before you dispose of it. You see, and this is what we think is very important. What you need as a judge. Po Kim Seong, Distinguished Toastmaster, will go into the detail of it later for you. All right. So for me, this is what it takes to be a judge. And in order to continue your journey, you start by judging, and then you can move on to be a tiebreaker judge. What's a tiebreaker judge? A tiebreaker judge is when you have to rank all the speakers and your ballot will be used for breaking a tie. And finally, your next journey after judging will be a chief judge. And all the best in your judging journey. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Gerald Young, on sharing the tips who can be judge. Yeah, can you be a judge? Can you judge? Can. I have a bachelor. I can judge. Well, this is how the judging expectation you want to be. Yes, but most important, the next thing you must know the process, the operation. So now the next trainer will share with you the operation and the trainers and the tips of judging. The trainer is a Toastmaster of global repute, having conducts of training sessions in different parts of the world, from America, Dubai, South Africa, and even other Asian countries. He is also honored to be Toastmaster in the regions as a distinction of serving as a judge at World Public Speaking Championship Final in year 2005, 07, and 09. And most important, He loved learning, and he also a master in making learning simple and easy to follow and make learning fun. And more important, he believes in empowering people, building exceptional teams so that all can live life to the fullest. Therefore now, let us welcome distinguished Toastmaster plus International Director Paul Kim Seong to share on contest judging. Over to you, Kim Seong.
Thank you, Ivan Lee, to our Division Director Margaret Loh and Lee Xiang, and our members from District 80, as well as the contestant from District 102, Safura. She is the champion in District 102. And I'm so happy to see you here this afternoon. I would strongly encourage you to take some pen and paper to take down some notes, because just now, right, during Gerald Yong presentation, right, I take good notes. So I strongly encourage you to write down certain point that you feel is helpful to you, jot it down. And if something you don't know and you want to clarify, also jot it down. So when just now Gerald Yong is doing his presentations, right, I jotted out two things when he mentioned who can judge. And he did mention that a member who is good standing. If you read through the speech contest rulebook, latest one on page number 7 on eligibility of judges, a member must be good standing. On top of that, they must be paying member for more than 6 months. So this point you have to highlight, must be more than 6 month payment, then you can be a judge. Not a new member just join a Toastmaster paid member, do L1 and L2, then, oh, I can be a judge. No, you need to minimum to be paid member for 6 months. And the third point is who cannot judge. And one of his third point is same club as contestant. Okay, this is half true and half correct. What do I mean by that? Number one is this is only allowed in club level and area level. Under area level contest, right, they mentions, right, as long as each club send equal representation, the number of judges from area contest can. But this one only progress to division level above. If you are same club members from the same clubs, you are not allowed to be a judge. So I hope these 2 points clarified. And this afternoon, let me share my PowerPoint. Just a minute. Just a minute. Let me set up. Okay. Okay, this afternoon, right, I would like to change the format a bit slightly different. I'll start with the interactive judging exercise, followed by sharing with you what is the speech contest scoring on the judges tally sheet or different type of forms. And on the second half, right, we'll cover on the speech contest rulebook and the speech contest judges briefing and protest. And total time we'll spend about 75 minutes together. So if it's agreeable, I'd like to see from your reaction bar, right, give me a thumbs up so we can proceed on. Okay, so we have the division director say, okay, so we can proceed on now. Okay, I would like to have 3 objectives in this session. Number one is to recognize the importance of understanding the contest judging. And through understanding, then we are able to appreciate the scoring through active judging exercise. And the most important thing is whatever we learn, right, we must learn how to apply. So I hope that you can apply what you learned today, right, to be a great contest judge, to be a contestant, as well as if you're a division director organizing a speech contest, right, how do you put in a good contest? So this is the objective of this session. And just now, Gerald asked you this question: why do you want to be a judge? And the most important thing is the key question I'd like to ask you at this moment, right? And I invite you to key in the chat group is, why do you think it's important to be a judge? Because just now, Gerald shared 3 points. Practice, installation, the learning of the knowledge as well, widen the horizon. The most important is why for you it's so important to be a judge, to learn faster, to be a better contestant. Yeah, that is correct. Safura from District 102, our district champion. Okay, learn listening skill. Any other contributions from our audience? Practice, analyze, and for self-improvement. Okay, from our District 80 champion, he's going to represent Division 30 in the quarterfinal, in the semi-final. Help club prepare for contest. So the most important thing is we will always start with why you want to be a judge. And once you understand the why, right, you'll spend time to uncover. Like for example, right, when I started to be a judge, right, about 15 years ago, I just want to apply what I learned from Toastmaster. And when the district leader offer you opportunity, you realize that the more you involve, it's like swimming. The more you get yourself into the water, you're able to survive in the kind of environment we are in. So the more you involve, the more you learn. And the more you learn, you realize that, in fact, sometimes the less we know. So I'm very happy where today we see many old friends like Jenny R, Patricia Lam, and many old friends, Richardson, coming forward to listen to the workshop, because constantly learning, constantly updating the information is very vital. So there's a difference between judging and evaluation. Have you ever come across when after the speech contest, some judges being helpful? Toastmasters all are very helpful. They'll pull the contestant aside. Oh, just now during the contest, right? I think I would like to provide you this feedback to help you to improve. Okay, this only happened in a normal speech, in a normal club meeting where you offer evaluation to help the speakers to be better. But in the contest judging, right, the primary objective is to select the best performance speakers during that night, that moment. So you're also using the judging criteria stated in the Toastmaster ballot form. If it's human speech contest, you use a human speech contest ballot form. If it's a table topic contest, you use a table topic contest form. There is judging criteria stated there. And you do not provide evaluations. And the most important, you don't need to give any suggestion or explanation. So to make this learning interesting, right? Okay, every individual, as if you are a contestant, if you are an organizer, if you are a judge, right, make sure you understand all the judging ballot. There's 4 different kinds of judging ballots available. And under the judging criteria, basically the judging criteria is separated out into 3 segments: content, delivery, and language. I will explain in more detail, but right now, I want you to get yourself involved in judging. And in the chat box, right, I send you a copy of the judging form, which you can download it. Okay. And to practice to judge in I'll play 3 being speech for you to judge. And pay attention how the speakers put in their energy in content, delivery, and language. So are you ready? Judges, are you ready? Contestant, are you ready?
Yes.
We got a live contestant over here. And audience, are you ready? So if you are ready, let's welcome the first contestant.
From Marine. Anna, the winner. Anna, the winner. Toastmaster Anna from Marine.
I had my biggest fight in my life in 2010. Do you know who my opponent was on the other side of the ring? Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen. My opponent on the other side was my husband. Yes, you heard me right. The very same person who had been my best friend, my lover, my co-fighter for 8 years, who was supposed to be my referee and my very own coach. Instead, there were different kinds of fights, with the big and the smaller punches, with the complicated and simple punches, with the life-threatening and power punches. How did we end up here? I still remember the very first time I laid my eyes on my husband. We were working at the same company, and one day the CEO called a man up on the stage to receive an award. Up goes a confident, sexy man with thick dark hair and sparkling blue eyes. And he delivered the most impressive speech I have ever heard. And lucky him, just a couple weeks later, we met at a party, and there was no turning back. We were madly in love. Within only 6 months, we had bought a beautiful apartment, got pregnant. Man of my dreams proposed to me in the most romantic way possible on top of a mountain in Spain. Not the usual fairy tale. But after 8 years, things changed. My husband changed. I changed. My husband had become someone I didn't recognize anymore. All the romance and sweetness and caring, all gone. The life had gone in ultra rapid pace, and I felt overwhelmed. I was lost in life. I didn't know who Anna was anymore. And this fight was too big for both of us. And we decided to get help, to understand how we changed during the years, and to remember who we were when we fall in love with each other. Do you know what I discovered? My biggest opponent wasn't my husband. It was myself. My inner voices who continuously spoke to me. Who do you think you are? Do you think that you are good enough? Do you think that you are somebody? And those inner voices have left me with self-doubt. I needed a time out, pause, and time to think. Was this really the life that I wanted? Was I really the person that I wanted to be? Was our marriage really the marriage that I wanted to have? Asking those challenging questions allowed me to get to know myself more and better and deeper. And I actually realized that I was fighting who I wanted to be at that time. And thanks to my loving and supportive husband and our lovely children, and with a lot of self-reflection, I transformed to the person that I wanted to be at that time. And back to happy Anna. And today, together, we are stronger as a team. And today, after 19 years together, we can win any fight. I know who I truly am. I accept it, and I believe in myself. I express it to the world. I am who I am. And I am not Anna, the fighter, anymore. I am Anna, the winner. Ladies and gentlemen, I have my fights in my life. You have your fights in your life. The biggest fights that we have is the one with ourselves. I learned from my experience that I don't need these gloves to win all my fights in my life. What I need is self-awareness, acceptance, and belief that I can win all my fights in my life. How can you win your fights in your life? Is it with the gloves? Or is it with your self-love? Contest chair.
Thank you. 1 minute for the
Thank you,
judges to
Master
mark their
Anna.
ballots.
From Marine.
Contestant is Safura. Contestant is Safura Atan. Will perform a final audio and video. Safura, please wave your hands and say test.
One minute for you to mark the ballots. Jot down the message of the speakers and what is the strong point of the speakers in the 3 categories: content, delivery, and language. Next
Testing
contestant.
1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, you are audible and visible. Can you see timer 1, Rohana?
Yes, I can.
Great. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Safura Atan, what got you here? What got you here? Safura Atan.
I was standing on a precipice so high up, I could barely see the water in the lake below. My clothes were covered with dust, hot, steaming with sweat. Although the temperature was actually freezing, my body was screaming in pain like it's been pummeled 100 times. And yet, I have not reached the peak. Contest Toastmaster, fellow friends, have you had that one life where you ask the question, why am I doing this? when I know I'm going to regret it? Well, that was one of those moments. I cursed my friends for asking me to join them. I cursed them again because they left me behind. And I cursed myself because I was the one who said yes to the challenge. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was attempting to climb Mount Rinjani. Yes, fat me at it again. Why such bravado, you might ask? Because I've managed to climb Mount Kinabalu 3 times before this. And I thought this would be just like a climb to Kinabalu. Kinabalu being the tallest mountain in Southeast Asia. My logic brain said Mount Rinjani will be peanuts. Man, was I wrong. What got me to Kinabalu would never get me to Rinjani. For those of you who've never climbed the mountain before, perhaps is wondering, what's the difference between Mount Kinabalu and Rinjani? Well, let me share with you. Kinabalu is a mountain, while Rinjani is an active volcano, making it isolated, requiring 2 full days of trekking before you reach the base mountain. And on the 3rd day of climbing, your body would have depleted most of its energy. Mount Kinabalu is made from granite. It's a series of stairs and steps. From my experience, if you could climb the 272 steps up to Batu Caves 5 times, up and down, non-stop, you could climb Kinabalu. Mount Rinjani is covered with volcanic ash, gravel, and sand. So just imagine climbing up 3-4 steps, you slide down 2, 3 steps up, slide down 2, 3, you get the picture. By the time we reach 1/3 of the way, my far more fitter friends have left me eating the dust. I felt like crying. But my petite mountain guide urged me on. Boo, you can do it, Boo, you can do it. So I hung on and trudged on. At the halfway point, at that precipice above the lake, there was a small clearing and somebody had started a fire. The climbers and mountain guides were warming themselves over the fire, drinking hot tea and eating biscuits. I knew if I sat down, I would never get up to continue the climb. So did I sit down? You bet I did. And did I get up to complete the climb? I'm sure some of you here are cheering me on. Saf, you got this, girl, you got this. Go and finish it. I'm sorry, but my body was numb with pain. My spirit was broken. And I was worried. How am I going to get down in this condition? What got me here will not get me there. I was imagining my petite mountain guide having to carry me down the mountain like a buffalo on his back. Worse still, he might just end up rolling me down the mountain like a barrel. So I sat there a bit longer, consolidated my spirit, collected my energy, and consoled myself, making the difficult decision not to continue, but to return to base camp. Man, the climb down was even hard, a slippery slide like a ski slope. I fumbled, I fell, and finally I made it to base camp in one piece, without my guide having to carry me like a buffalo or roll me like a barrel. So did I regret not reaching to the peak? I'd be lying to you if I said I had no regrets. But I know if I have the opportunity to do it all over again, I would do it differently than my climb to Kinabalu. So the questions that I have for all of us here, How many of us here are living our life like we don't need to do things differently? This climb to Rinjani taught me that lesson. And perhaps to all of us here, the pandemic could be a lesson to all of us. This pandemic has shown us that the world is a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous place to live in. Marshall Goldsmith said, what got us here won't get us there. Are we just going to wish that the world will return back to what it was before, bury our head in the sand, and ignore the changes that we need to make? Or are we going to take the bull by its horn, adapt, stock-take our situation, unlearn and relearn, acquire new skill sets and wisdom to face the change that we need to make? Admiral Stockdale, who survived 7 years of being prisoner of war, said that we need to face reality with a dose of faith that we will prevail. So, ladies and gentlemen, for us to prevail, we have to face the reality that what got you here will not get you there. Back to you, contestant.
1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
Even contestant is Safura Atan.
Toastmaster Shobhit Datta. Hush.
1 minute of silence for the judges to mark the ballots. The final contestant.
Rush. Hush. Don't rush. Toastmaster Shobhit Datta.
The clock struck 6:45 a.m. My mom screaming at me, "Wake up, son! You only have 15 minutes for the school bus." I woke up instantly and realized it's time to use my superpower. To rush. Stuffing the sandwich, drinking the milk, I rushed for the school bus. While my mom said, "Hush, don't rush." Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Rushing was my superpower, as I could do more things in less time. Week-long assignment, a day was enough for me. 30 minutes for lunch, 5 minutes for me. 1 hour exam, let's not discuss my grades here. I would have been a black belt in rushing if not for my mom. Whenever I rushed, she said, "Hush, don't rush." And as every obedient child, I never listened. Years passed by rushing, and I joined college. This time I did not rush. My heart did. My heart skipped a beat when I saw her, as I was in love. I met Sneha on the first day of college and felt an instant connection. On the next day, we found out we were lab partners. We even joined the music club together, where she sang in her melodic voice and I played the guitar to her tune. It was like a match made in heaven. The only problem was she had a boyfriend. Call me selfish. I was waiting for the day when they break up. When they did, to cheer her up, I asked her out for a movie, and she agreed. As Valentine's Day was around the corner, I rushed to get a red rose and asked her, Sneha, will you be my Valentine? Sneha was horrified. Are you crazy? I just had a breakup. I do not want to be in a relationship right now. I did not get a second chance. Have you ever had your heart broken because you rushed? To heal my broken heart, I switched my focus from roses to wallets. I landed a job at a top multinational firm. Gone were the days of rupees. I was now having credit cards, debit cards, shopping cards, milk cards. I was finally earning, and I wanted to make some wise decision with my money. So I turned to the most trusted advisor on the planet, Google. Google recommended me to start investing. I bought stocks when they were low, sold them when they were high. I was ecstatic to see my money making more money. I wanted more, and I wanted it now. On further Googling, I found a multi-bagger stock, an undervalued stock whose value can multiply several times its cost. Seeing the opportunity, I invested all my savings in it. In a matter of 3 days, the stock price skyrocketed. My investment doubled, tripled, and went beyond. But on the 4th day, the stock crashed, and all my savings just vanished. Have you ever suffered financially because you rushed? Carrying the weight of my financial choices, I switched my focus to the greatest wealth a person can have. Health. I started working out, lifting heavy weights, eating eggs, drinking milk. Finally, the milk cards were paying off. 6 packs in 6 months. That was my aim. And every week I was lifting heavier and inching closer to my dream figure. But after a month, it became tougher. I asked my gym trainer, I'm not able to lift any heavier. What should I do? You've got to push through. When I say push, you push. All right. He said push, I pushed. He said push, I pushed. He said push, I pushed. And I heard a popping sound in my shoulder, followed by an intense pain. I had dislocated my shoulder and had to undergo a surgery. Have you ever risked your health because you rushed? While I was in the hospital, I was constantly asking, Doctor, when can I go home? When can I lift my arm? When can I lift weights again? My mom sitting right beside me. Don't rush, Shobhit. But mom, hush. Why can't you ever listen? You cannot rush through everything, son. You cannot. Holding my arm in pain, my mom's words finally hit me. Despite being reminded not to rush since childhood, I was always rushing. That had impacted my relationship, finances, and now my health. Think of all the time when you rush in your everyday life. When you see a sale, buy a bunch of stuff you don't need without thinking about your wallet. Or when you attend 2 Toastmasters meetings on 2 devices, but don't participate in either. Or when you skip a red light signal just to save 5 minutes and risk having an accident. Each time you are rushing, and I hope you realize it before it's too late. Friends, it took me a hard break, an empty wallet, and a broken arm to realize that rushing is not a superpower. Patience is. I am now being patient in building relationships, investing cautiously with a long-term horizon, and making fitness not a short-term project, but a lifestyle choice. I have switched my superpower from rush to hush. When will you start? Contest chair?
1 minute of silence for you to mark your ballots. When you're finished, I'd like to invite you to key in your top 3 choices in the chat box. Inside the chat box. Okay, if your winner is number 3, 3, 2, 1. So there's no right or wrong on this. Okay, Julie 3, 2, 3, 1. Ramapic 2, 3, 2, 1, 3. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3. 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3. Thank you. Keep coming. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Okay, right now I'd like to invite, because you realize that in the judging criteria, there's 3 segments: content, delivery, and language. I'd like to invite District 80, one of the language experts, Terence Mulis, to comment on the 3 speakers on language. Which one you like the best and why? Basing on the judging criteria, correctness and appropriateness. Over to you, Terence.
Oh, thank you. That was very unexpected.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically I put 3, 2, 1. Now in terms of I'm talking about language.
Just focus
right?
on language, yes.
Yeah, just on language, right? You find that the third speaker was very quick, very fast, and he was rushing his words, which means to say that in terms of language, he didn't give audience the time to feel the emotional depth of what he was trying to convey. And when it comes to the first speaker, it's obvious that she had the advantage because she's a native speaker. So there's a very clever use of words and terms to express what she's trying to say. And this is especially apparent in the call to action, where she was able to express why it is something that we are all involved with. The second speaker had a good call to action as well. Well, because of the truncated part of her message, the last part, I guess because she ran out of time trying to describe the thing, right? She didn't express enough why that call to action is important for all of us. And you find that her words were a bit choppy because she probably wrote or thought in another language and then she spoke in English, which is something quite apparent. You know that the first speaker, for example, and this is something that all of us can do if, let's say, we are not very strong in English. Keep the sentences short. If you keep your sentences short, you're not going to make mistakes when you are delivering your story. And the pauses in between sentence, lengthen it. You don't need to have a complicated story. You just need the audience to understand where you're coming from. Over to you. Thanks.
Thank you. So Terence, your choice of language, right, is number 1, right?
Yes, the first one.
Thank you. Okay, right now I'd like to invite Ramapit. Are you around? Are you still around? Okay, I'd like to invite you to comment on the delivery of these 3 speakers. Which one you like the best and which one, right? What are the key strengths on these 3 speakers on delivery?
I like the speech delivery of the second speaker the best because I found the body language was very composed. It was appropriate. It was just up to the content which she was delivering, and it was very composed, neither over nor too much undertone. So the third speaker, I found him to be very loud. The same was with the first speaker as well. But I like the delivery style of the second speaker more.
Okay.
Because it was very composed. It was as per the structure, as per the content of her speech. So her emotions were going up when she wanted to, not necessarily because she had to.
Okay.
So that was the difference that I found.
So you realize that under delivery, we focus on 3 elements. One is the physical, the appearance.
Yes.
And they also focus on the voice, the intonation, the rate of the speech, as well as the manner, how they bring the message across. Okay.
Yes.
So your choice is number 2 speaker, Safura. Safura,
Yes.
you got 1 vote here. Okay. Right now, I like to invite District 102 champion to comment on the content, which you view through as a contestant. As a contestant, you view through 3 speakers. Which of the speakers you leave a lasting impact, or the message still after listening 7 minutes, right? The message still stay in your heart, and you still can remember. Maybe over to you, Safura.
Wow, this is unfair because I'm one of the contestants.
This is called self-reflections.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I actually liked the first speaker. Content-wise, because she was talking about a real contrast between having a battle with somebody external and the battle being her in actual fact. So I really liked the contrast that she put across. So it created like, okay, what, was interested to know more about the husband, why, what sort of battle, and suddenly she twisted it and made it actually herself. For the third speaker, unfortunately, the story, I've heard it so many times. For me, when you talk about the content, meeting the girl, falling in love, I have heard that story over and over again. So for me, content-wise, I feel that he could have done it differently. That's my personal opinion, because I've heard that story before. To share about mine, when I look at it over and over again, I do see where I should have done better. And I was actually going for the anti-hero story. I didn't succeed, but there is some sharing towards not failing the journey instead of being a hero. But definitely, I like the first speaker because again, she created that contrast, a provoking thought about external and internal battle. So back to you.
Thank you, Safura. So right now, in fact, we went through this cycle. Okay, let's go in detail. In judging criteria, in all the contests, right, international, humorous, table topic, content is the king. Okay, content consists about 50 to 55% of the total score, and delivery is the key. And the most important thing, language is for you is a vehicle. These are the 3 different kind of contests we are, as Toastmaster, we are involved in. The evaluation contest is a bit different. You realize that the evaluation contest, right, focus on providing the test speaker for improvement, not a showmanship. We realize that sometimes evaluation contest, right, we always have this challenge where the contestant forget to summarize, and the summary, right, consists of 15%. And on top of that, right, evaluation contest is to provide analysis as well as recommendation for the speakers to improve, not a showmanship of the contestant. So this segment, right, evaluation contest is always providing improvement. So when we focus on the international speech contest, we talk about the 3 elements: speech development, effectiveness, as well as speech value. The only difference, right, in table topic as well as humorous, right, they have this thing called audience response. And you realize that the audience response, right, for table topic, right, is featured in the effectiveness. So all in all, when you want to craft a speech, you must have a proper opening body and conclusion. And the most important thing is you need to focus how effectively your message are able to get across to the audience and create the kind of interest to the audience. And just as Safura did mention, right, the first speakers are able to capture your attention. Capture your attention because something you feel close to your heart, something you want to find out more. As compared to the third speaker, you this story I hear many times. That's why if you really want to write a good winning speech, right, you need to write something universal, but you need to craft your story until where people can see it from the other angle, not always the same kind of story. Story is the same. Like recently, in fact, yesterday I attended one storytelling session. They told what the speakers start off in one very interesting way of engaging the audience. They say, do you have a scar on your body? Everybody have, here and there, you will definitely have some injury when you grow up and have a scar. They say, behind the scar, there's always a story where you can inspire and the lesson learned from there. So it's only how we uncover it and how you bring the message across. So when you want to do is when you judge, right, content is one of the key elements. The second thing is on the delivery itself, where delivery we focus on three things. Okay, delivery we focus on three things, where we focus on the physical, how the speakers look and how the speaker present, and the voice, and lastly the manners. And language, where just now Terence did mention, okay, we focus on two things, on appropriateness as well as correctness. Okay, in RTS, analysis of the speakers, after that recommendations, and your approach must be motivating, must be sympathetic. The most important thing, most contestants or most judges, right, some contestants didn't call questions. What they did is, oh, thank you. Ask yourself this question, is thank you a summation? Thank you is never a summation. So the speaker have to do a proper summation on the evaluation contest. And this is the evaluation judging form. So at this moment, I'll go through some of the forms involved in speech contest. To be a judge, right, you need to sign these judges certification forms, where inside there, they will tell you the eligibility of judges and the code of ethics to be a judges. So this form, as judges, you need to sign this form before you start judging in a contest. The second forms is for a contestant. When you take part in any contest, you need to sign this speaker certification for eligibility and originality. You need to declare you are a member in good standing and the speech is prepared by yourself. Okay. Next item is this thing called the timer record. At this moment, I'd like to ask you this question. Okay, how many timer record sheet in a speech contest must we have? Jenny Au, since you are a seasoned chief judge.
Again, your question, because
okay,
I was...
how many timing record sheet do you during a contest they need to have?
For each contest, I will have 2 timer sheets. So each timer will record. Both timers will do the recording.
Okay. Yeah. So what happened if 2 timer, right? One record 7:30 and one record 7:32.
Then we have to see in general what are the where are the areas, and also not only look at the 32 bottom line, what about the other parts of it? You know, the other areas, whether it's consistent. From there on, then you'll be able to determine which will be the correct one.
Okay. As in a rule book, right, they only mention one timing record sheet.
But I always play safe. Yeah.
We have instances where this thing happen before, where one timer records 7:30 and one timer records 7:32. So we have this challenge, right? Oh, some come up with a very interesting idea. Why don't we take the average, add of the two, divide by 2, which that's why Toastmasters International, I mentioned, just have one to avoid the confusions. So this is on the timing record sheet. Okay.
Yeah, Kim Seong, may I just add on? There was an occasion, incident where one of the timer actually didn't record anything, so we cannot rely on one time. I mean, as far as my practice is concerned, yeah.
I understand that. Okay, then next come to the tally results, where my personal experience is when we have, you realize some of the chief judge take long duration to come up with the result, and some chief judge, they went in to count the ballot and it come up very fast. Do you know what is the significant difference? Okay. Personally, I found one of the significant difference is most of the appointment holder or ballot counter, right, they went in to fill in the forms when they are in the ballot counting room. By right, all the judges, you have all the judges' name, you have all the contestant name. You should complete. You can fill up the forms first before you go to count the ballot. So when you go and count the ballot, it's really count the ballot, not fill in the forms. So you see the difference. Even in world level international speech contest in World Championship, right? I volunteered myself to be a ballot counter once. When I went in, in fact, they are inside there just to fill up the form instead of counting the ballot. That's why it takes so long. So in fact, I suggest, why don't you complete the thing before you step in the ballot counter room. So this one for your consideration. Okay, and now Toastmasters International make all the forms, right? PDF, number 1, number 2, right? You can edit the PDF form. You can actually type in the thing, use it. It's editable PDF files. This is the ballot counter files. Okay, for international speech contest, this is the ballot forms. And for the judges, right, you have two types of form. One is a tie-breaking judge. One is the normal ballot form. The difference between tie-breaking judge is you need to rank all the contestants in the ranking order. I still remember in 2000s, the MAC convention. Do you still remember District 81 MAC convention in Suntec City? And I happened to be a chief judge. And I appoint one of the so-called world champion to be the tie-breaking judge. Okay, when I got the ballot form, right, I nearly fall off my chair, because you have this impression that world champions should be able to fill out the form correctly. So when I opened the ballot form for tie-breaking judge form, I opened up. There was only 3 names in the ballot forms, and luckily on that contest, we don't need to use the tie-breaking judge. So after the contest, I go and approach the person. I say, "Hey, brother, do you know what's the responsibility of tie-breaking judge?" He said, "Yeah, I know. But when I look through your tie-breaking judge ballot form, right, it's not complete." Oh, then the comment, right, he shared me. He said, "Oh, because I don't want you to wait for a longer time, that's why I quickly pass the ballot form to you." So mind you, if you are tie-breaking judge, make sure you do a tie-breaking judge, complete the ballot form correctly, fill up all the contestant name inside the ballot form. So if you don't do it right, who suffer? the chief judge will be sweating if there is a tie. Okay, and on top of that, if our judges, right, make sure we always encourage during the judges briefing, right, make sure you fill in your name and sign your ballot form first, because we have instances where you open up, there's no name, no signature. So if there's no name and signature, right, we have to discard the ballot forms. Okay, so when it comes to in the event there is a tie, it's a tie, right? So what we do is we always refer to the tie breaking judge forms on the ranking to do the final ranking. It's like, for example, right, in scenario one, like Hamid and Gil, right, both are ranked tie. So we will look at the tie breaking judge, how they rank. So if the tie breaking judge, right, rank Gil second, so the final result will be Hamid first, Gil second, Susan third. So far so good. This is how you break the tie. If on the second scenario you got Philip, Susan, and Yusuf, right? So the forms show that, okay, Yusuf is third in the tie breaking form ranking. So the final ranking will be Philip, Susan, and Yusuf. Okay, result forms. This is the latest form where you rank in the top three. Okay, now in fact they'll tell you, okay, the first place will get 3 points, all this. So you realize that the third place, now they put third place and it's only 1 point. It's all stated there very clearly. Okay, after you finish as a chief judge, it's also your responsibility to produce this notification to the contest chair, a complete ranking of the contestant. So just in case, right, if the first, second, third cannot go, right, then they'll look at the forms, right, the number 4, number 5, who can go to represent the area or division or the district. So this one is one of the requirements for chief judge to submit to the contest chair. Okay, now come the most exciting moment. We come for 50 minutes of the training session, and right now I heard that the division S, right, and division G, right, prepare the best refreshment for this training. So we are going to for a 5 minutes refreshment break, and the refreshment, right, can find in your own kitchen. Margaret, rest assured, you can make the best coffee yourself. You can eat some cookie, okay? And if you want to serve virtual cookie over virtually, by all means. So with that, we'll go for a 5 minutes break. We'll come back in 5 minutes later. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll bring my best coffee to you, Kim Seong.
Thank you, Kim Seong. Thank you. I think now we are all being tested. We are not NATO judge already. No action talk only. We are practical judge now. I think Kim Seong, thanks for your integrity and the bolts and nuts of this judging contest. I think it's a very valuable tips to us. And most important, I think the contestants, now you know the criteria, where to score your points in the contest. Okay, so now, before we have breaks, we shall take a group photograph. So can you on the video? Can you switch on your video, everyone? Yeah, we want to see your beautiful face, handsome face, and your smiling face.
Kim Seong, why don't we start? We take picture afterwards before we start, because now I think some people would have walked off already. Like Kim Seong would have closed his view. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So we call everybody
Ivan,
afterwards.
Right? You mean you're talking to Ivan, right?
Yeah, Ivan. Yes,
okay,
sorry.
okay. Now, then in that case, we will take a break first.
Yeah. After we come back, take the picture before Kim Seong starts.
Okay, we will take a 5 minutes break. We'll be back at 3:25. Okay, 3:25.
Well, it looks like every chief judge in District 80 is here.
Time has stood still. Or is it my...
Have you ever judged a contest where there were 20 participants? Let me tell you, time does seem to stand still when contestant number 6 is talking. You're right, time is stood still.
Somebody wants to prolong the break.
So,
Yeah, and Kim Seong is back from running away immediately after his session.
After 15 minutes, you need to have some break.
You really put me in a spot.
Oh, it's okay. That is part of that's this thing called experiential learning.
Impromptu speech is best.
In fact, it's quite tough for you to evaluate yourself. I know.
Yeah, but because I watched myself over again a few times, so yeah, I do see, and when I compare with others, I do see where the gap is. So it's painful when the first time you have to do it, but after a while you get a bit, sort of no feeling anymore.
I think how many number of words do you have in your speech?
It was I think it was around 700. 700 plus.
That's a lot, actually,
Yeah, it is actually. But there was a technical glitch in actual fact when just to share the background why suddenly my conclusion was a bit
truncated.
Yeah, because suddenly the contest share video came on.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Which normally it doesn't happen. So it never happened before. So suddenly I haven't finished. I had actually a bit of ample time. And suddenly it switched on. And I was, sort of not ready for that.
I understand. But as you can tell, for those of us who are very experienced, we can tell when that part is a bit truncated.
Yeah. So I need to manage surprises.
But overall, I think that, the subject matter is good and interesting. What you could consider is tightening the middle part,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because you find that you're already talking about that experience of climbing a mountain and juxtaposing your personal experience and all that. You need to have time to bring the audience into it because the audience is inherently selfish. You know what I mean? At international level, they want to talk about how they feel. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Got it.
Especially a Western audience. I mean, we forget that judging at a local level, right? I mean, our part of the world, we are a very communal kind of society. So we are very empathetic. Whereas, unfortunately, the nature of Toastmasters, I mean, this is something I've observed, right?
Yeah.
when we go to semi-finals onwards, most of the judges come from the US and all that, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that we also have to remember that judges bring with them their personal cultural experience.
Definitely, yeah.
And for them, it's a very me first kind of thinking. So we need to adjust our speech when we go to international level.
Definitely. Okay, noted.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and now 1 minute 30 seconds to go. Oh, I see our District 80 champion, Kim Fong. Later, I'll invite you to do something for our audience. You are muted.
Does that require a stage? Because I'm not at my stage right now.
No need, no need. Very simple one.
Sure. By the way, if I could leave some comments for Safura, I'm not sure if you're still there.
Yes, she's here.
Yeah, I really did enjoy your speech. In part, as I mentioned, because I do enjoy mountain climbing as well. I thought though, because this idea of what got you here may not get you there, it's not something as easy as appreciate what you have. You know, you say appreciate what you have, immediately like 10 things come to my mind. You say what got you here may not get you there. That requires a bit more thought because I first have to think, where am I going? Have I got there? What have I been using to get there? So for some of these higher level thoughts, I thought that I would prefer longer pauses so I can actually have the time to think about that. So I felt there was perhaps an absence of longer pauses. And I know it's hard without an audience, right? Talking online without seeing faces is like, but I guess we just kind of have to get used to that and hold the silence. I think just that alone would make a big difference in your impact for me.
Yeah, definitely. You spot on, Kate. I really noticed that. So yeah, I agree with you totally.
Okay, welcome back. We are on time. And right now, I'd like to invite our District 80 champion to do to invite the audience to do a virtual handshake. Use your own creativity. Kin, over to you. How to conduct a virtual handshake virtually.
All right, thank you, past International Director Po Kim Seong. Fantastic afternoon, everyone. I hope you've had your refreshments. Top class as promised by Kim Seong early, right? So what we'll do for this virtual handshake, if you haven't already done so, actually, you don't have to spotlight me. I'd like everyone to change to gallery view. All right, let's change this to gallery view so you can see all the photos and all the cameras. You can see everyone on the screen. So what I'd like you all to do is, with both hands, try to touch the sides of your Zoom screen. Right? Try to touch the sides of your Zoom screen. So can you see everyone trying to touch the sides of the Zoom screen? Yeah, okay, I see that. Great, great. This is going to be a great photo op. All right, so now we're all kind of almost holding hands. Remember, your palms should be facing outwards. Okay, you don't touch hands like that, right? Palms facing outwards. Okay, who's going to take the...
we'll take from the recording.
Okay, I think Yakim's going to take it. Can we hold it there for 1, 2, 3 and smile? All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, thank you. Welcome back, welcome back. Okay, now we are going to cover the contest rule as well as the contest judge briefing, and the last part we'll cover this thing called protest. In the process, we'll share with you some of the actual case study happened in District 80 in worldwide. Okay, why do you think we need to understand contest rules as a judge, as a contestant, as an audience? Okay, Judy from LKA and past Division B director, why do you need to understand speech contest rule?
Okay, we need to understand speech contest rule is because first of all, you need to brief the judges on what they're going to how they're going to judge the contestants. And secondly, I think you're going into that is in case there's a protest, we have a certain guidelines whether these people, the protest is valid or non-valid. So we know the basis for us to interview the said contestants later.
Okay, Can I have a show of hand in this group, right? Who have downloaded the latest 2021, 2022 speech contest routine? Okay, Julie, Safura, our Zoom master, Sky, Jenny Ong. Okay, very good. Okay, under Toastmaster International, right, they have a few documents, very important documents. First document is the protocol, policy and protocol. And you can find the speech contest policy, right, under the protocol 6.0. Over there, right, they'll highlight to you what can do, what cannot do. It's under the protocol 6.0 on speech contest rule. And how to operate a speech contest, how to run a speech contest is found in this little book called Speech Contest Rulebook. And every year, Toastmaster International will update the speech contest rulebook. And you look at the cover, right? And in District 80, we are very proud. We have got 2 of our members, right, appear on the speech contest rulebook cover. And we look forward the next one appearing very soon. Okay, so, and every year they'll do updates, and it's not, the update is not done by division, not done by area director, not done by district. It's done by Toastmaster International Board of Director and under this thing called administrative policy. And if you open a rulebook, right, they will have this little triangle, little diamond, right? And to this year, there's a total of 16 updates inside the rulebooks. And some may be numbering, some may be grammatical error, or some may be typo error. They just do updating. Some may be tightening or make it clearer. Like for example, one of the updates recently is that there's under the list eligibility portions, right? In the past, they have this thing called campaigning for a higher district office. So we have contestant members who are very smart. They say, oh, I'm running for a higher office next term, but I have not started campaigning. So they dispute on the word called campaigning. So this year they make it clearer. They take away this word called campaigning as long as you're coming forward to be an elected officer. So they remove the word campaigning. So this is some of the updates. And where can you find all these speech contest updates, right? Is in the website itself, right? You can download the whole document. You can read through the updates for this contest cycle, this rulebook itself. They'll do a comparison this year and versus last year. What is the changes? And they give you an explanation. So read through this, and it will be very helpful. Okay. What is the first thing coming to your mind, right, when you talk about speech contest rule? Kim Fong, when you look at a speech contest rule, what is the first thing coming to your mind? Or some things link, what can you link?
Well, actually, the first thing that comes into my mind is, what are the updates?
What are the updates? Okay.
Because I've been contesting for, well, every year since I joined. So I need to know what's new so that I don't get disqualified.
Okay, thank you. For me, right, to help my members, right, to remember, right, the speech contest rule, right, I came out this thing called, when you think about speech contest rule, I think about spider. Think about Spider-Man. Okay, why? Because the speech contest rule is divided into 8 different kind of segments. Okay, where it covers the speech contest policy, which just now I highlight to you. Where can you find the policy and protocol? It covers the eligibility, and this eligibility cover the contestant, the appointment holder, as well as the judges. Okay, and it also cover on this thing called, the third point is selection sequence from club level, area, divisions. And there's a if you don't have a club contest, you can send a contestant to area level contest. And inside there, they also highlight to you, right, area level, division level, right, you must have a contest, even if there's only one contestant. So you still need to have a contest, right? It's only club level, you can designate a contestant for the level. So the selection sequence, right, cover all about that. On the fourth thing, right, on this thing called speech subject and preparation, right, they highlight to you, right, everything must be original. Okay, the speech preparation must be you are the one who do the preparation. And under the general procedures, right, covers, right, how to run the contest, where just now Julie did highlight, right, when you encounter anything, right, in fact, you can find all the proceedings, general procedures, how to run the contest or under the general procedures. And timing and of the speeches, right, is referring to different contests have different timing. Okay, like for example, international speech contest, 4 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. If you speak less than 4 minutes 30 seconds or more than 7 minutes 30 seconds, you'll be disqualified. Okay, so this one focus on different contest timing. They highlight to you the timing requirement. And the next thing, right, talking about protest and disqualification. Last year they did updates on protest and disqualification. Okay, in the past, right, protest, right, only can protest two things. Okay, or eligibility and originality. And last year they add in one item called cross-referencing on other speakers' speech. If Kim Fong is doing a speech on hand, then I'm a contestant, right? I take part of his speech, right, become my speech. I'm cross-referencing his speech in the contest. So contestant can protest to the judges. So there is cross-referencing on other contestants' speech. And as disqualification, right, there's two types of disqualification. One is time disqualification. Okay, and the other one is eligibility disqualification. Okay, and the last thing, right, use of prop. Some of the contestants would like to use different kind of props. Like just like in the first contestant, right, they use boxing glove, they use PowerPoint. Okay, some say, oh, can I play music? Can I play guitar or all this? And in the live contest, right, some bring in interesting things to trying to bring across the message. So in the speech contest rules state very clearly, before you want to use any props, right, you need to demonstrate to the contest chair. Okay, in the live contest, you need to demonstrate the contest chair, and the contest chair and you are also responsible to remove it off from the stage yourself. So all this is stated in the use of prop. So in order to remember all this, right, I'll strongly encourage you to download a copy to read through. If you don't understand, okay, you are always welcome to drop me a message. I am more than happy to explain to you in more detail. Because personally, in the past, I like to call world headquarters to clarify the rules one by one. So it makes, once you, there's this saying called clarity is power. Once you are clear with all this, right, you're able to advise your members. So this are the 8 points. Okay, where can you get all this contest information? And all this contest information is not invented by me. It's on THEAD website, correct? Okay, so to help you, right, okay, you can always go to www.toastmaster.org. Okay, under the leadership central, look for speech contest. And if you click speech contest, right, you go to this page. And all the information on the speech contest, right, on the latest rulebook, the frequently asked question, okay, online speech contest, regional quarterfinal, the tutorial. This tutorial is quite good. They'll tell you, they'll show you how do you mark the ballot. Okay, how, if a chief judge, what is the rules and responsibility? That is the e-tutorial where you can go through. And they also cover this thing called the World Championship of Public Speaking. And the most important thing is, if you want the faster way, is go all the way down to quick link. When you go down all the way to quick link, right, okay, you can have all the contest material. For, like, for example, certificate. And we come across many, in fact, Toastmasters International make it easier for clubs, district, divisions to operate. You don't need to design fanciful certificate because they already provide you a set of certificate for you, and it's you can download and print. And on top of that, you can download the whole speech contest material under the speech contest material. And they also highlight to you, right, the speech contest rulebook, the certificate is all inside there. You can just click the link and download. Okay, if the most easier way is to drop them an email. Like recently, recently, in fact, yesterday, I just sent them an email. Because some of the words they use in the latest 2021-2022 speech contest rule is quite challenging to understand. Like for example, under the chief judge column, they say immediate past international precedent, second remove. Oh, as I said, is there a better choice of words instead of second remove? So I send them, I'm waiting for them to reply. The most interesting part is when you send this email, a speech contest at toastmaster.org, right? There's an automatic reply email and all the contest material is inside there. You just click the link, you can get all the necessary material. If you don't know where to find the website, just key in this email address and drop them an email and you can get wonderful information. Okay, let's come to contestant judges briefing. Okay, when you want to conduct a briefing, like for example, last time I used to carry a file, and all the files, right, is all the forms of all the necessary form for speech contest, and I have a copy of the point to cover during the briefing. It's not you go to a briefing, and sometimes I come across some of the judges, commonly they'll say, oh, everybody is very seasoned, so I guess you know what to expect, what to do. That is not a briefing. So in the briefing, right, you need to cover all these points. Number one, you cover on the judges certification, eligibility, and code of ethics. You cover confidentiality. Okay, you cover this thing to encourage them to use the judging criteria, and also encourage them to jot down some notes, right, when the speaker is doing speeches, and strongly encourage them to write down their name and sign the forms. And in actual contest, we will strongly encourage people to sit near the contest area or the stage. So just in case, right, the sound system fail, you still can hear the speakers. Okay, and you don't need to do the timing at all. You just need to pick the best winner of the day and hand over the ballot, the bottom portion ballots, to the ballot counter. So in online contest, right, what you need to do is take a picture, snap, and send to the chief judge or together with the ballot counter. So that is a point you need to brief the contest judge. As for this is the judging judge code of ethics in the forms. Next, come to the the other role player like tie breaking judge. You can brief separately. In fact, I strongly encourage you to brief separately on the tie breaking judge and tell him you need to write down all the contestant in the ballot form and hand over to chief judge, not to ballot counter, hand over to chief judge. In the event of tie, the chief judge will open up the ballot. As for the other appointment holder, sergeant at arms, tell them on the arrangement. Okay. Okay. These two are more important in contest. Is this thing called confidentiality, especially timer and ballot counter. We have come across where ballot counter came out the ballot counter room, right? They say, oh, you didn't win the contest because this judge didn't mark you. So whatever happened in the ballot counter room, stay in the ballot counter room. So confidentiality is the key essential item. Okay, protest. In the event of protest, first thing first, in District 80, we came across, I personally came across about 3 different kinds of protests. First protest is in a Mandarin contest. Okay, the husband taking part in a speech contest. After that, right, or the division director then was so panicked. He said, oh, the wife of the contestant protest. Say, the speech of the other contestant is not original. Okay, the contestant wife protest other contestant, the speech is not original. So if you are a chief judge or contest chair, first thing first, the 3C. stay cool, stay calm, and stay collected. Okay, you need to understand who can protest. It's only contestant and judges. So contestant, why can they protest? The answer is no. So I said, rest assured, that's why you must understand the speech contest rule, handle accordingly. Okay, and the other contest in YWCA or in Fort Canning Lodge, we have the humorous speech contest. After the contestant finished the speech, the one contestant protest, another division contestant say, "Oh, all this humor speech contest, you realize that all this humor, right, is all from internet, or you can find from the internet." So in the judges' briefing, okay, the chief judge will tell all the judges, okay, in the event you hear this statement, like I like to use this statement, Gerald Yong like to drink Coca-Cola. Gerald Yong like to drink Coca-Cola. And if all the judges hear this statement, right, Gerald Yong like to drink Coca-Cola. Okay, we will gather in the briefing room. So that morning, Gerald Yong like to drink Coca-Cola activated. So we gather all the judges. First thing first, as chief judge, you need to highlight to all the judges what is going to happen. And there's protest on this thing called originality. Okay, after that, we get in the contestant to explain. Okay, the contestant explain, oh, is it, in fact, true enough, I get all this from website, but I reorganize and repackage my own story in the presentation. After the contestant explain finish, okay, the contestant will leave the room. Then the chief judge will ask the judges inside the room to vote. Do you think the contestant have violated this thing called originality? So if the majority of them doesn't feel that it violate, right, they rule by this thing called simple majority. If there's 9 judges, it's 6 judges think that you violate this thing called originality. So the chief judge will notify the contestant, oh, you are being disqualified on this thing called originality. If out of 9 judges, 5 judges think that it's okay, many people do all this, but they feel comfortable, it's not more than 25%. Okay, so the contestant will not disqualify. So first thing first, how do you protest? First is you can straight away go and notify the contest chair or the chief judge. The other way for judges, right, if you want to protest, right, you write on your ballot form, protest. So they'll gather all the judges together. Okay. So this one, protest have to make prior the announcement of the winner. You can now say after the whole contest finish already, then you say protest too late. Once result announced, it's final. Okay, just now I received one questions from Richardson. He said, can you share with us, right, some protests or some complaint, right, they complain up to headquarters without going through the district? Yes, we have a few complaints, okay, in actual happening. One of them is the contestant cannot see the timing light position. So they wrote to Toastmaster International and complained. But the thing is, bear in mind, when the contest result is announced, it's final. Okay, so you can write whatever you want, but you will not get through. So whatever need to settle, okay, that's why as a contestant, right, first thing first, you need to really see the timing light. I still recall in District 80 when we have, back then in 2004, we have the first convention in Bangkok. And they have beautiful stage and they install spotlights. And during the practice session where we say, oh, this is a timing device, make sure you can see the timing device, all can see. Okay, all can see the timing device. When the actual event happens, when the spotlight is on, out of 9 contestants, 7 of them cannot see the timing light at all. It's with the light, basically the vision is being blind by the spotlight. So we have these instances where, in fact, as that's why we also learn from mistake. We apologize to the contestant. Okay, in future, right? If you want to test the actual ground, right, make sure, right, you need, as a contestant, you need to ask smart questions. Is this the actual contest lighting? You don't call yourself a surprise. When they on the light, you cannot see the whole thing. And out of 9 contestants, 5 went overtime. So this thing happened before. Okay, so this is some of the interesting cases. And in fact, there's many case studies, right? I encounter, but today we just focus on scoring ballot forms. And if you want, we can do another sessions, right, in more detail on the speech contest rule as well as the case study. I think my timing is almost up. I'll hand the control back to Ivan Lee. And in all my training, we have this thing called 90 days guarantee. Okay, well, I provide 90-day guarantee. If you have any questions, you got any questions, you got any concern, you don't know how to answer anything, you can always connect me through Facebook, WhatsApp, telephone, or email. Okay, and I promise, right, I will reply you. Like recently, in fact, I used to conduct pathway workshop. That was about 3-4 years ago. Someone said, "Oh, I attended your pathway workshop 101 long time ago. I have a question to ask you." By 90 days didn't expire, still provide the service. With that, I hand the control back to Ivan. Over to you, Ivan.
Thank you, Kim Seong. Thank you. I think in insurance term, we call it free look. We got free look also.
No, it's called after sales guarantee. After sales guarantee. Yeah. So it's just like protest. You must protest or ask your question within the warranty period.
Yes. No, okay, thanks again, Kim Seong. Yeah, thanks again, Kim Seong. I think it's a valuable insights of what is contest judging. Now we know about the meat and bounds of contest, the nitty-gritty of the contest. But before we go to the next section, we shall have photo taking. Just now we missed that. So everybody, could you turn on your video? We want to see your beautiful face and smile. Yes, can you turn on your video, please? Okay, the Zoom master will take the photo. Zoom master is Pia Kim. He will take the photo for us. Pia Kim, are you ready?
Yes, I'm now taking for page 1. Smile, page 1. Thank you. I'll move on to page 2.
So happy.
Thank you. I'll move on to page 3. Hold on. Actually, there are 4 pages. Sorry. Okay, now move on to page 4.
Right.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Pia Kim, for the photo taking. Okay, now the next section, I think people are looking for, because now we cannot meet on site and we cannot have contest on site. And now we have to contest online. So the best trainer will share with you what is online contest. So shall we invite distinguished Toastmaster Gerald Yong to share on the topic online contest. Over to you, Gerald.
Right, thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. All right, I will just share my PowerPoint now. Okay, could you see my PowerPoint? Can you see?
Not completely, Gerald. Now it's
okay. Oh yeah,
now it's fine.
I just hide it. Yeah, sorry. All right. Okay. Okay. Now the contest online contest notes for this is what I do is I only highlight a certain point that is relevant to contests online, because TI has got a very detailed online contest practices in the resources that just now distinguished Toastmaster Kim Seong has highlighted there. In that same resources, you could find it. So, all right. So now moving on to online contests. So what do we need to take care of? For me, I find in online contests, some of the major difference between online and the usual face-to-face contest, one of it is the ballot marking and submission. Now, and from my experience, some of my judges says that their computer, they cannot do PDF amendment and all that, right? If your computer, you can do it, then it's a breeze, no issue. So what I recommend, if your computer is not the update, not the latest version, you cannot actually amend the PDF, then you use a paper, actual form, mark on the form and take a picture of it and WhatsApp it over to the chief judge. Yeah. Now the submission part, different chief judge have different way of submission. So that one I'll leave it to the chief judge who is in holding office on that contest. For my method, I always felt that as a chief judge, you have to be transparent. So I would create a chat for each judge with the two tally counter and the chief judge. So if I have 10 judges, I'll create 10 individual tally counter chief judge chat with each judge. Altogether 10 judges, 10 chats. Yeah, this is a little bit extra work, especially the clearing part, but it ensures transparency because when that particular judge know that is the chat where he needs to submit his ballot, and it will go to the tally counter and the chief judge at the same time. So there's no possible error. And I also know whether the tally counter received the ballot or not. Okay, so that's submission. But other judges may have their own way of collecting ballot. That's up to them. Okay, now the other one is TI recommend that there must be a hotline between the judges and the chief judge. So usually over here we do have this practice of a group chat. Yeah, so I, as a chief judge, I always have a group chat with the various judges, my panel of judges, so that if anything, protest anything, we communicate through that group chat, right? So as if you are judging, always keep your eye on the group chat in case there's communication with the chief judge. And also the chief judge, if you are a chief judge, then you also should have a hotline with the Toastmaster of the day, the Zoom master, and the contest chair. Yeah, but that only if you are chief judge. So as a judge, usually important is your communication with the chief judge. Right? Another thing that's very important that we have to pay attention to is the loss of connection. Loss of connection can happen to anybody now, or unstable Wi-Fi. So a contestant the Wi-Fi can be very unstable. So as a judge in that contest, the chief judge will have to brief you on what you should, how you should react. So if you are judging and the chief judge did not mention that, make sure you clarify with chief judge what you should do. But in TI, they have a procedure. They say that if, let's say there's a contestant drop out, we have got contestant drop out, or a contestant who was moved to a breakout room for table topic or evaluation, fail to come back into the main room, right? So there must be a certain protocol, and TI allows time to given for the contestant to come back in. And also the point about being late for appointment, being late for your contest. In a physical contest, is very simple. A contestant have to be present when the Toastmaster introduces himself to start the contest. But in an online meeting, the contestant may have logged in. So how do you determine whether he's there or not? Also, should he be is he considered as present or not present when the Toastmaster of the day introduces himself to start the contest? Yeah, so some of the things that if you are a chief judge, then these are the things that you need to consider. But as a judge, you don't need to consider because it's the chief judge's decision. Yeah, so I won't go into the detail as what you should do, but the chief judge themselves, every chief judge have their own way of handling this. You just have to ensure that it's fair to all the other contestants, that's all. Yeah, so for me, usually I'll get the Toastmaster of the day, say, you contest Toastmasters to get all the contestants to switch on their camera so we know that they are present. See, because otherwise contestant may have logged in, you see them on the screen with the video off, but they may not be there. Okay, so that's up to the individual chief judge, right? So the other loss of connection that we need to take care of is if you as a judge, you are thrown out because of weak Wi-Fi. So you have to notify the chief judge as well. And it may amount to you being not able to proceed with the judging, because if you miss one contestant's speech, you can't effectively conduct your judging anymore. Yeah, so this is what you need to know. Or if a contestant drop out, the Toastmaster of the day may call up the second contestant to start the speech first. And by the time we finish, the contestant who dropped out must be present and ready to start his speech. And if he is not ready, then he may be disqualified. Again, these are the decisions of the chief judge. Okay, so these are the things. And loss of connection can also happen to the timer. Yeah, happen to the timer. That's why TI also recommend, yes, there's a timer who should have his timesheet, and also another timer, official timer, who operate the official record official time. And these two timers may be submitted to the chief judge, but only one is the official time. Why? Because it's in case one of the timer's time is spoiled, is defective due to Wi-Fi, whatever, then there is a backup time for that particular time slot. You see, otherwise, again, you may say that the faulty timing device, you can give 30%, but you don't have any time at all how to add that 30%. You know, so these are some of the things that we all will know. But again, it's the chief judge call. Okay, so this is the one. And finally, another one is visibility, lighting, position, all that. Now, if a candidate, you want to take part in a contest, is the candidates himself who's responsible for making him that he's visible, his lighting is clear, and his position can show his hands and his hand gestures and body language and all that. But if you are faced with a contestant who fail to take care of this department, you will just have to judge him based on how he presented himself. If you can't see him, how are you going to score him on his body language, correct? On his facial expression, if you can't see it clear enough. So it's up to each individual. So where's the judge, your own judgment will come, okay? Yeah. And TI also recommend that as a judge, you should also have a backup device. So it's also good that we always, some people use a backup device, a handphone, but I don't suggest you perform your judging role with a handphone. Always judge with a computer, or maybe have a backup as an iPad. But iPad for Zooming also has its constraint. Okay, but most important, you must have a backup device. Otherwise, as I said, if you drop out or if your device is not constant and not stable, it will affect your ability to judge effectively and impartially. And then you have to advise the chief judge so that you to decide whether you just have to stop your judging or not. Okay, and after the contest, as according to distinguished Toastmaster Po Kim Seong said, confidentiality and all that, make sure you delete all the digital files in your computer relating to that contest. Okay, so that is very important, because as in a manual situation, a physical meeting situation, after the meeting, after the contest, dispose of all your ballots or your scoring sheets and all that, and don't just simply throw it in the dustbin in the contest. Maybe take it home and then tear it up and throw it away or something. And also, yes, do not discuss the judging, how you judge, who score what or whatever. This is applicable to all the appointment holders. All right. And finally, that's all I have for online. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Jara. Thank you, Jara, for telling us insightful on online contesting. And most important, we now know the do's and don'ts and the best practices on online contests. Well, now you listen to these two prominent trainers, the masters on contest judging. So now it's the time for you to ask questions. And now we have this time of Q&A for all of you here. And if all of you have aspiring to be a judge and you still have burning question, or you're contestants, you know where to score high points for your speech contest, now is the time to ask them. And I encourage you to type your question in the Zoom chat so that everybody can see, and then we are able to let the trainers know the questions to be answered.
Ivan, is it possible that I just ask? Because
Oh, okay. If you want, is it okay, trainers?
No problem. We just
Yeah,
update.
yeah,
Okay,
okay.
okay, Ken, sure. Susan,
I
go
would like
ahead.
to direct this question to Kim Xiong.
Yes.
So I think you were going through the scoring criteria, right?
Correct.
I would like to understand, because like, for example, in effectiveness for international speech, for example, we talk about a few things, whether the audience reception, was I able to determine the purpose? Does the speech relate to the purpose? Was the audience interest held by the speaker? Was it subject appropriate for the audience? So there is two questions I have. First question is, in the Zoom setting, how do you determine audience interest? Now, I mean, in a physical meeting, you can observe, right? But in a Zoom meeting, how do judges actually determine that? Do they just determine on whether it captured their interest, or? So this is my first question. Second question is how should I say this? Where effectiveness seems to cover a few points, how do you allocate? Like which one, you know what I'm trying to say? Maybe this person score higher in like the purpose, but maybe not so much in engaging, but how do you determine? Because different judges definitely would have different scoring skill in these two different areas. I'm curious, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Susan. That is an excellent question. The most important thing is on the audience response or effectiveness, right? Is on the judges, because judges will be the person who mark the ballot forms. Like for example, just now in the three contestants, right? We do this, right? This judging, right? You realize that some contestants number one, some will pick contestant number two, some three. Why? They will not be the same, because everybody come with different background, different kind of encounter, different kind of experience. But the most important thing is, at that moment, the message of the speaker hit the judges the most. That's why in the panel of judges, right, you must have a very well balanced of judges. What do I mean by well balanced of judges, right? Like for example, if I am chief judge, right, normally, right, if a panel of 9 judges, right, I will have 4 female, 4 male. Have a balance. You just imagine if humorous contest, right? If all female judges, and if the topic, right, is not suitable for a female to listen, the contestant will never win the contest. Okay, so the most important thing, you must have a balance. And in this balance, right, I also have this practice, old and young in age, because different people have different experience. You just imagine, right, if you get a panel of all very senior citizens, and you go and introduce something where it's innovative and they cannot accept. So how innovative your speakers, you will never win. So it always boils down to the person judges. So as chief judge, right, you need to select the judges carefully. And the second part is, how do you prove effectiveness? The most important thing is what value the person receive. Like for example, if I'm a judge, okay, I will listen to all the speakers. What is the speech value hit me the most? Definitely they'll score high mark on the content portion. Okay, so that's why as a contestant, right, if you really want to craft a speech, right, you need to craft a speech where people can understand. Like recently, I have some discussion with some of the district winners, right. We have just exchanged our ideas. I said some titles, right, when you read out a title, right, okay, you will turn people off already. Because human tendency is the 5 to 7 seconds instant connections. From the first time I hear the title, right, I don't understand. If today or if I speak in Mandarin, right, or give a title, right, in Mandarin, right, and if you are not Mandarin speaking, right, your mind will automatically shut off. So similarly, when you want to create a speech title or a topic, you must be able to engage the audience from the start to the end. Because different level of speech contest count in for different kind of elements. We have contestant. Okay, if we are in Toastmaster long enough, you understand that the speeches, right, have 4 different kind of elements: speak to inform, speak to inspire, speak to entertain. I have a contestant last time in a speech contest, international speech contest. They are happy to tell you a topic they are passionate in, like gardening. Then you say, oh, this topic cannot win speech contest, but to them, they feel happy because they fulfill what they want. So to answer your question, right, it's always the judges. And okay, in international level, you understand that the judges will come from different regions. Okay, if you read the speech contest rule, right, they'll tell you, right, in semi-final, right, you will not come from our region, you come from outside region. So majority from US or Canada or Europe. If you're just going to present your speech, right, where some of them from the start cannot understand, right, you cannot engage them from the start. So these are something you need to really carefully consider. I hope I answer your question, Susan.
Okay.
Hello, hi, Gerard.
Oh, Fang Li.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. May I ask a question to Gerard?
Yes.
Yeah. Because actually as to the contest rules, we can go to. Sorry, I'm Fan from A1AD.
Yeah.
Okay. As to the contest rules, as we mentioned earlier, and we can go to contest rules in TI, or we can go to King Song within the 90 days warranty. So on top of that, I just wondering, because you mentioned a very good point just now in the beginning of who can judge. So one of the first point that you mentioned is fair and impartial. So I just wondering, on top of those rules, so can you share some your insights on being the fair and impartial as judges?
How to, you mean the exercise of fair and impartial?
Yeah, so or maybe you can share some story or anecdote.
No, you see, the thing is, fairness and impartial is up to the individual person.
True.
The individual judge.
Yeah.
Right? So how to be fair and impartial is most important. In your briefing, the chief judge always say, judge the speaker, the contestant for his performance that day. Do not judge him because of his if I may say, people know that he's the best speaker and who you have your previous encounter. Like just like in the Olympic, the best swimmer may just fail. You know who can be a good example. So always to be fair and impartial is, do you judge the speaker for his performance in where you're judging him? Okay, you do not don't let the halo effect affect you, because we are here to choose the best speaker for what they are performing. You see, and also to be fair, there may be some judges who may say that, oh yeah, because of my ranking, the better speaker was ranked number 2. Maybe I may change my ranking so that the better speaker will go number 1 and will represent our area better. Yes, he did not perform well today, but I believe he will perform better. That is not being fair. You see, and that's not being impartial to the one who actually performed better today. So it's all up to the individual judge, to you yourself. Are you fair, impartial? Are you upholding your own integrity? You see, so that's very important. You see, but of course you can get away with it. nobody will know, Yeah, because what matters is what you write on the ballot sheet. Only you yourself know, have you been fair and impartial, and have you uphold the integrity of that office? So that's the important thing. Okay. Right.
Thank you.
Yes,
Gerald.
thank you so much, Gerard. Since the Tokyo Olympic is on, I think that's a very good example here. Yeah, just judge the contestant on the current day performance,
correct.
which is good enough. Thank you so much, Gerard.
Okay, there's one question right regarding in the event there's no tie, right? The tie breaking judge still need to submit the ballot. Yes, you still need to submit the ballots to the chief judge. And back to Li Fang questions, right? I'd like to share with you this thing, right? Basically, there's an 8 barrier where this thing called people this primacy and recency theory. People always remember the first and last. So sometimes, but there's also challenge, right? As the first contestant, don't like to be the first one because they are basically warming up for the other contestant. So always remember, okay, you always judge not on the speaker's position. So that is one, to be fair. Secondly, on this thing called underdogs, where you say, oh, this guy physically challenged, we should give them a chance. So you should not do that. It's equal. Whether you are fit or physically challenged, right? You judge according the performance of the speakers. Third thing is this thing called halo effect. It's, oh, this one every year win the contest definitely must be good. Or this is a good speaker, so halo effect. There's also this thing called reverse halo effect, where this guy grammatical error cannot pronounce better so we mark him very weak on his speech. So this is called reverse halo effect. And the fifth one, right, is we always have this one a second time around, again and again. Okay, or this one is very common in some of the contestant dressing. Oh, he dressed outside the norm. The contestant must be properly in full suit, wear shirt and tie, not t-shirt. This one is divert from the norm, so we mark him down. So you have to pay attention to the 3 criteria: content, delivery, and language. Okay.
Okay, so if I may also, sorry, I haven't finished.
And the next one is on your personal life and prejudice. And this one, right, we always have this problem, right? Especially past winner. Okay, if every year this person win in the division contest, is it again? So the thing is, you always judge on the performance on that day. You discard all the things. That's why this is how you have a fair contest. Okay. Gerald,
all right.
over to you.
So I just quickly go just one point. That's why when you judge, you must always score the contestant when you immediately after his speech, because you're still fresh on his performance and you can score him better, and do not delay that, right? Because I have experience with some judges in the past that they would rank contestant, they rank one after another. No, my question is, after the 4th contestant, how can you still compare the 5th contestant with the #1 contestant? So that's not fair. But when you judge them immediately, that score stands. You see, so you won't be affected by any other bias and things like that. And also in humorous speech, I have come across some Toastmasters who says that, oh, I've scored this person very, very low because humorous speech must be making a person laugh and all that, and his speech was no laughter at all. But actually, when you look at the score sheet, humor is only a certain percentage, 15-20%. The rest of still his content, his delivery and all that. So you do not just immediately score him down because there's not much laughter. And that is where I call fairness and impartiality come into place. You have not been fair to that speaker. You see? So if we do it right, we score him and all that, then that will not come into impact. All right. Okay, next question.
I think there are questions on the chat. Maybe I just read it out.
Yeah.
Oscar asks, why judging cannot launch a poll to all the audience to vote for the best contestant using the highest number of votes?
Okay, I may just answer that. Well, you may end up it become a popularity contest instead of a test of skills. So that's very dangerous.
Okay, their official answer is because Toastmasters have official ballot forms.
Mm.
You need to carry out using the judging criteria to mark the ballots, and we need to submit the ballots for tally count.
Mm.
And just now, right, normally, right, my practice, right, I like to have a piece of A4 paper, and I'll fold it into four portions. And if you have 4 into 4 portions, like basically, right, it can fit into 8 contestants. And always take notes on the contestant in terms of content, in terms of their delivery, as well as language. So I strongly encourage you to take note of the contestant performance, not just with no note taking, just fill in the ballot forms, which is quite unfair, because when you mark the thing, sometimes you will go back, what actually these speakers do better than the other speakers. So you have a comparison, but you will have marked in the ballot forms first. And taking note is very, very important. So I strongly encourage you, right, as a responsible judge, because contestants spend time, effort to prepare their contest. And sometimes it also, as senior district leader, it's pain me to see where chief judge, right, send a WhatsApp mass message, right, in the group, right, say, who want to be the judge? Okay, as a chief judge, you must be very responsible to contact and select the panel of judges, not just send a blank WhatsApp message, say who want to be a judge. It's because contestant, right, I can understand Safura, Kin, right, prepare so well, and that's why I always share with some of the district leaders, right, there's always challenge in club level judging and area level judging. As the level of judging go higher, right, we don't have this problem, because the selection of judges is very, very crucial, not just by just send a WhatsApp message, I say, who want to be the judge? So respect our contestant and have a good contest together.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Kim Seong on that aspect, on that point, yes.
There's a question that there's something from Terence. He says that as a judge, I would mark down any contestant who does not dress appropriately for a contest. Appearance is part of the presentation. Me as a chief judge, usually I tell my panel of judges that dress code is pertinent, but you have to look at the content of the speech. If the person comes in Bermuda and slippers and is talking about the sand and the beach, he is his own prop. So it's okay to dress that way, so we don't mark him down that way. This is my take.
I think to clarify, that was not a question, that was a comment, because I agree with Julie. Like, I have had this discussion with Gerald, right? Gerald's so everything I learned from judging, I learned from Gerald. Any mistake is Gerald's fault, just to clarify. So, I mean, I agree. If, for example, we had a contest, I mean, that time Gerald was chief judge, I was still new to judging, right? We had a contestant come in and he was dressed like he just went to the pasar, to the market. And the thing is that his speech was nothing to do with beaches or this or that. He was just some guy who got no respect for the contest. And you think all these people who come in dressed properly is part of their opinion. There's a different story. I agree with Julie, and I have to clarify that if if the dressing is a prop, yes, we give kudos to that. But some people just don't care,
I totally agree, because one of the contests are involved in inter-district contests, right, where this guy talking about martial, this guy from Mexico, so he wore a martial art uniform to do his speech. It's perfectly okay. So the most important thing as a contestant, right, is what impression and what message you want to carry across to the audience. And if you know me well enough, right, in fact, I also like to be casual. Those who know me, I like to wear t-shirt, Bermudas, okay? But when I appear in front of camera, in front of Toastmaster meeting, okay, minimally shirt and tie is the minimum. Because this is the respect to our audience, this is the respect to yourself, okay? And in speech contest, right, I will strongly encourage everyone, right, spend more time to understand all those speech contest rules, the organizing, because our contestants, right, put their effort together. And in fact, over the years, I discovered this interesting thing. Maybe you all can confirm with me. When contestant lose the contest, right? First thing first, right? They blame judges, all lousy judges. They blame judges. Say this judges lousy, cannot. How come I cannot win? But surprisingly, right, when they win, they won the contest, right? They never thank the judges. This judge panel judges, right? Or make an excellent choice. Choose me as a winner. Never. So this thing called it takes two hands to clap. So we have mutually contestant put in the effort. That's why as judges, right? If a chief judge, make sure you select a good panel of judges because they deserve a proper judging. As contestant, right? If you lose the contest, it's okay. As long as you keep trying, the door will open. In District 80, right, when we start the journey of producing World Championship of Public Speaking, right, in 2004, right, people laugh at us. They said, this little red dot want to produce a World Championship of Public Speaking. It is impossible. But guess what? In 2014, in 2015, and 2015, 2016, continuously, we are the only district in the whole world send 3 contestants, 3 different individuals to the final. As long as you believe this is possible, it is possible. But we need to put it together because it's a team sport. It's a team effort, contestant, judges, and our district leaders. That's why I appreciate Margaret and Lee Xiang, right, inviting us to come and share with you, because we hope that all this information, right, is helpful to you. And because today we cannot cover too much in depth in the speech contest in case study because of this thing called timing. And we got 3 more minutes to end this session. If you got any question, you are always welcome to drop us an email. At this 90 days still stay, don't worry. I think any final question before we close this session?
Yeah, I think we have one more question. Yeah, your burning question you want to ask. If not, Richardson have a question. Richard, you have a question, Richard?
Yes, may I speak?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Thank you. Firstly, it's not convenient for me to switch on my video. Secondly, for those who do not know me, I seldom speak up. I seldom speak out. I have attended speech contest workshops, practically every one of them, since I joined. And I also conducted speech contest workshop many years ago. And I noticed that when these workshops are conducted, not many district leaders, meaning area directors, division directors, attend. And it's very sad. They think they know. And even club excos, I would suggest that at least 1 or 2 of them attend and go back to the clubs and share. Because I see that, and I observed that during speech contests, many unfortunate things happen. I'll share with you just one case history. It was 2 terms ago. This particular member is also the club president, and he is also the club president of another club. And his wife is also a member of both of the clubs. And concurrently, he is also the area director. I won't mention which division, but fortunately, not the 2 divisions conducting the workshop this afternoon. His wife submitted application to participate in the club contest. She was there, but she didn't take part. And unfortunately, the first and second place winners, for personal reasons, decided not to move up to the area level. And the club president allowed the wife, who did not take part at the club level, to proceed to the area level. Because of lack of competition, the wife won the area level contest. And again, because of lack of competition, she proceeded to take part in the division contest. Now, as far as I know, if you do not take part in a club contest, you cannot represent the club. And the hubby, being the president, area director, allowed that to happen. Now, whose fault is that? I made it known, well, I'm giving you a clue already. I made it known to the contest chair, and I made it known to the chief judge. And that was after the contest, because I only watched the contest online. I was not present. Now, whose fault is that? Area director, division director.
Okay.
So this has been going on for many years. Many different issues. I call them case histories. And I strongly suggest that division directors go back to your own division and conduct similar such workshops for potential judges, as well as for chief judges and for your fellow area directors. Thank you.
So Richard, this is a comment, not a question. Thank you very much for sharing this case. Okay, with that, I think we are coming to the end of this session. And not to worry, we are always here. Gerald and myself, and even Kim Fong, we are here to help District 8 stronger because we are one big family. With that, I hand the control back to Ivan. Ivan, over to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, both trainers and the questions. So we will round up this Q&A section now. And that's complete our contest judging master seminar. But haven't end. We will have others session. There is a certificates of appreciation and then followed by the announcement. However, if you have a feedback, there is a link there in the group chats, and you can click the link to feedback to us on this master seminar. Okay, so now we have the certificates of appreciation. And the first is, we'd like to appreciate distinguished Toastmasters, past international director, Po Kim Seong.
Thank you, thank you.
Kim Seong, can you
we'll take a photo.
Stay on the stage. Take a photo with you. Don't go anywhere.
Master,
Li Xiang? Li Xiang?
Yes, sir.
We would like you in the photo as well. Thank you.
Yes.
Do you manage to spotlight them?
You need to spotlight at least three of you.
Wait, where are the 1 minute? Where is Kim Seong?
Can you see me?
Wait, looking.
Look on the stage. You asked him to stay on the stage, right?
Okay, found you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim Seong.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim Seong.
Okay, next we will have distinguished Toastmaster, Gerald Young. Hey.
Yes, Zoom Master, are you taking?
Zoom Master?
No, I'm controlling. Sorry, can you help me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Did we take the last photo now with Kim Seong?
It's from the stage.
Okay. I will take. Hold on. Okay, ready, steady, go. Right, done.
Okay, next will be.
Wait, just to check, did somebody take Kim Seong's photo just now?
I did not.
They did not take, so let's.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm focusing on my slides. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry, Kim Seong.
No problem.
Kim Seong to come back again. Okay.
Smile, I'll take.
Yes.
Yeah, Kim Seong on call.
Taken.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim Seong, for sharing your wide expanse of knowledge and skills with us.
Yeah, I just dropped
Today's
the
session has
PowerPoint.
been invaluable. Thank you.
I just dropped my PowerPoint in the chat box. Feel free to download it.
Thank you.
Okay, next is our Zoom Master, who's all along behind the scenes. Important man.
Okay, where
None
is
other
our
than
Zoom master?
Teng Pia Kim. Yes, Pia Kim, can we see you? Yes, Pia Kim. Yeah. All right.
Okay, I will take 1, 2, 3, smile. Oops, oops. Hang on. Oops. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pia Kim. And not
And
forgetting.
last but not least, yes, not forgetting Ivan Lee. That's me. That's me.
Yay. There we go. 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, now is the announcements. We haven't end yet. There's still another 2 master series that we are having it. And that is on the 14th of August. That is how to master the Zoom. And there we have experts. Zai Hamza will teach you and share with you the tricks and the tricks of the Zooming and how you become a Zoom master in your field, not only to impress your friends, but also can impress your client, in fact, your family member. So come on the 14th of August, register, and you see how the Zoom master of this training able to benefit you. And the next is another master series that is Supercharge Your Grown. And the trainer is a prominent speaker, Kin Eng and Thomas Cheng. They are professional speakers, and they have been in the professional speaking for many years. And I'm sure they want to impart the skill to you. So come and join us so that you also one day also can be like them to be a professional speaker. So that will be on the 4th of September. So there's next one. Next one, there's another Division G seminar that is Learn the Art Behind Great Leadership. And there are also 2 trainers that will be to share with you. One is Siva and the other one is Abedia. They will share with you on the strategic goal to retain developed members. And for another one is to share with you on the ways to build up on the recruitments. For Siva one is will be 28 August. And for media will be 2nd October. So stay tuned. Keep track on all these seminars. It will help you and benefit you and bring you to the next level. So that's about the announcements. And we shall invite Advanced Communicator Branch, Ko Li Xiang, for the closing address. Li Xiang, over to you.
Good afternoon, Master. Thank you for those who have stayed on until this last minute. I am delighted and feel blessed to hear to our 2 knowledgeable and passionate trainers who have shared with us all the wonderful tips. I know I cannot contest in this term. I love to take the role of telecounter. And I would like to respect people's time because it's already overrun. And I would like to make an announcement as well that we are, in fact, only this morning we have came up with an idea of NBP National Day celebrations organized by Division S on 9th of August in the afternoon 2 to 3:30. And we will have the showcase of the club videos, competitions, as well as games with prizes. So do look out for the poster and sign up for the upcoming events. Thank you, everybody, once again. I hereby close the meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. That's the end of our Master Series workshop today. Thank you for coming and thank you for the times here. And we will see you for the next Master Series. Thank you. That's for now. And
thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Gerald, you put on
Thank
there
you,
your-
Kim Seong. Thank you, Gerald.
Thank you, Kim
Yes.
Seong. Thank you.
It was such an informative and insightful sharing.
Thank
Gerald, you
Yes.
put on there in the chat my email and then you never put your email.
Really? Oh dear. Sorry.